All right, let's move on and talk about encumbrances. Now, I got three questions associated with this. This is another big section when it comes to the real estate exam. An encumbrance is a charge or claim on property. Okay, it does lessen the value and how the property is used. The two types of encumbrances you want to know is a lien and easements. Okay, those are the two types you want to know. Now, listen to me carefully. Think of an encumbrance as an umbrella. Okay, an umbrella over the land, over the home, an umbrella over the whole property. You got to vision this. That is called an encumbrance because from that encumbrance hangs a lien on the property, which lessens the value and it restricts the property. And also, there may be an easement on the property. You remember the term appurtenant easement, easement by necessity, easement in gross, the right for one to use the land of another. Okay, you remember those terms? Those easements and those liens that are on this property encumber. Okay, so if you can think always of an umbrella over the property that has liens and easements on it, it does lessen the value and it does have certain property usage associated with it. Okay, liens and easements. Now, the liens we're going to talk about specifically out of these encumbrances. The liens provide security for the debt. In other words, if I lend you $300,000 to buy a home, I'm going to put a lien on that property if the title is in your name. Okay, if they put the deed in your name, how am I going to protect my $300,000 is to put a lien on it. Because when you turn around and sell the property, you have to pay that lien off. So I'm guaranteed my money back. Okay, even if you don't pay my money back on a monthly basis, I can foreclose on the property. Okay. But I've got a lien on the property to protect me as far as my debt goes. Okay. So it's security for the debt. Now, the types of liens you want to know for the state exam: voluntary lien, which means it was agreed by the parties. In other words, you went to the bank and borrowed money, and the bank says, "Yep, I'll lend you 300, but I'm putting a lien on your property." You say, "Good, no problem." That's a voluntary lien. You're allowing it to happen. Involuntary means the law did it. John, you did not pay your property tax this year. Oh, we're putting a lien on your property. Well, why are you doing that? Well, the law says we can because you didn't pay your property tax. That's an involuntary lien. A specific lien is to that property or specific to that property. And a general lien is general to all the properties if you own multiple properties. Okay. Specific lien, like a mortgage, that's only to one house that's bought. Tax lien to one house that wasn't paid taxes. A general lien could be on all your properties. If I didn't pay the IRS my federal income tax, they're not going after one property. They're coming after me, so they can put the lien on all my properties. Okay? So you want to signify and differentiate. What's the difference between voluntary, involuntary? Am I willingly letting the lien come on? So that's a voluntary lien. If it's involuntary, it means the law puts it on there, like a construction lien, a mechanic's lien. Let's say I agree to pay a contractor a certain amount of money. They put a swimming pool in and I don't pay them. Well, we got a contract. I didn't pay them the full, so he can put a lien on my property. Well, I don't want it. Well, the law says I can. So it's involuntary. Okay. So you got to kind of talk this out when you read the scenario. You got to talk it out. Am I allowing it to happen, or is the law doing it? And is it specific to one property, or can it go on to all my properties? Okay. Now, continuing on, statutory liens are created by law. Okay. Like a tax lien. Statutory means state laws, right? Revised statutes. So the state laws in each state, if you don't pay your taxes, we can put a lien on your property. That's a statutory lien. A judgment lien is a court order. Okay, it's a lawsuit. Who's the lawsuit against? It's not against the property, it's against the person. Okay, so that would be a general lien. It can go on any property, just like an income tax. A vendor's lien is someone that's owner financing. In other words, You want to buy my house and you say, John, I can't, the bank won't lend me the money. I don't qualify. I say, well, look, I'll finance it for you. I'm going to be the bank. So I lend you the money. Well, I'm going to put a lien on the property that you bought because it's my money. I'm the vendor. So it's called the vendor's lien. It's not a bank lien. It's not a mortgage lien. It's a vendor's lien because it's seller financing. Okay. And then we talk about a mechanic's lien is a lien for the unpaid labor cost. Okay. So you want to know some different types of liens and how they're appropriated. Two questions. First one is the lien that could only cover a single property is considered. Which of the following is a lien that only covers a single property? Good. Single property tax lien. If I have five properties, not 10, but 5, sorry about that. If I have 5 properties and I don't pay tax on one of my properties, the county is not going to come and put liens on all my properties. They're only going to put on the one that I didn't pay tax on. So a tax lien is considered a specific involuntary lien. That's what type of lien it is. Specific to the property, involuntary because the law puts it there. Okay. All right. The second question is, what type of lien is voluntary? What type of lien is voluntary? Okay. Remember, voluntary means you agree to it. Is a mortgage. Now, let me ask you this question. Is a mortgage a specific lien or a general lien? What do you think? Is a mortgage a specific lien or a general lien? Okay, a mortgage is going to be specific, right? It's going to be a specific voluntary lien. Okay. How about a judgment lien? Is a judgment lien specific or general lien? What do you think? A judgment lien. Okay. It's on the person, right? Someone's been sued, maybe an automobile accident, whatever the case may be. It's a general lien that can be put on all the properties. Okay. Is it voluntary or involuntary? What about a judgment lien? Voluntary or involuntary? Involuntary. Okay, good. So here's what you want to do. Listen to me carefully. You want to role play this when you're looking at the actual test question. You got to ask yourself, is the law putting it there or am I putting it there? That's going to give you your voluntary or involuntary. Second thing you got to ask, is it go on one property or can it go on all the properties? Okay, because if you get a multiple answer like involuntary specific, voluntary specific, if you get a multiple answer, you got to kind of sit back and you got to de-scramble these things because it can be confusing. So you got to kind of go through them like that. Okay, that's how I like to teach it. So you have a vision on how to go through it and role play to find out what the right answer is. Okay. All right. The next question is, which of the following or which of the below is not a specific lien? Think about this now. Let's role play this. Specific lien. Specific. What are we saying specific? Specific to a property, one. Okay, not multiple, one property, specific property. It's a lien on a specific property. So if we look at a mortgage is only going to one property, specific. A construction lien or a mechanics lien, again, the work was done on one property. Okay, put a swimming pool in, put a roof on, whatever. it's one property. Property tax lien, one property, specific. Income tax lien, somebody forgot to pay their income tax. Okay. That's a general lien. That's not specific because they're not after the property, they're after the person. So it's going to attach to all the properties. So that's a general lien. It's general to all the properties. A, B, and C are specific to one property. Okay. So we're looking at answer D, DD delta.
For more practice questions, videos, and insight into the state exam, we encourage you to join our free webinar, How to Pass the Real Estate Exam Without Your Real Estate Book and with only 15 to 20 hours of study time. Get registered now at myrealestatetutor.com/exam.